Hi, everybody. This is Maxine Taylor with my June overview forecast. Today's date is June 1st, 2020. Everybody around the world has been dealing with issues in their respective countries. I can only speak about the United States because I live in the United States. And for almost a week, we have had demonstrations, marches that have turned into rebellion, resistance, looting, fighting, killing, although the killing began before the demonstrations. It was the killings, plural, that gave rise to these marches. Started out peacefully and just ended with destruction that did no one any good. Arguing, fighting, more death. And in the midst of it, there were people who extended a hand in love, in unity. And it is time for me to say once again, light workers, starseeds, walk-ins, healers of all types. It is time to step forward and not fight and not kill and not rampage, but link arms. There are outside forces at work in our country to create greater issues. It is time for us to unify, coming from friendship, respect, and love. With all of us knowing that we are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, with that in mind, a couple of announcements. Keep watching my YouTube channel because I've got my Trumpology report ready to go. I'm going to talk about the United States chart. If I get to it today, it will be up today. I did take 3 days off to celebrate my birthday, and all hell broke loose, and you know what happened. So I will be encouraging you to share the love, the light that you have. I'll also be explaining what we can expect as the year unfolds. And when I say year, I'm talking about 12 months. Okay? So today is June 1st, 2020, and I'd like to talk about the big picture for the world for the month of June. First of all, as many of you know, because you're students of astrology and you are familiar with what's going on, Venus is retrograde. Venus is the planet of love, of money, of happiness. When it goes retrograde, it appears to be moving backwards in the heavens, and it acts like a Mercury retrograde. Well, Mercury is also going to go retrograde on the 18th of June. And we're in the shadow of the retrograde. Within moments, we're going to be experiencing the double whammy of Mercury and Venus retrograde at the same time. And I'll tell you exactly when that is. It's June 18th to June 25th. Mercury, of course, will enter the shadow of the retrograde, but on the 18th of June, it goes retrograde, sure enough. Venus is still retrograde and goes direct on the 25th, after which it moves into the shadow of the, well, it's not the retrograde, the direct motion. For 1 week, both Venus and Mercury are retrograde, and that is the tag team that is going to confuse so many people, so many situations. I've been saying for a long time that this is the time frame, the summer of 2020, is the time when we wouldn't know who to believe because there was so much disinformation and misinformation out there. Now, we know the people who long-term have expressed truth, fact, and we could believe them. We also know the people who have spread lies, untruths, exaggerations, have not taken any responsibility for anything that has happened. And who, if they say something, we're probably smart to believe the opposite. It's getting real, or it's gotten real, I should say. So with almost a week of rioting, of course, starting with death, pillaging, plundering, rebellion, rage, understandably, on top of a virus that was called a pandemic and forced people to stay away from one another, unable to interact lovingly with warmth and hugs. It was a powder keg ready to happen. So with all of that, let me tell you what is going on just the month of June, because I'm going to be giving you a monthly overview, as I have for quite a while. I'm going to give you a monthly overview for the rest of the year and probably into 2021. So let me just mention again, Venus and Mercury, tag team. The final shadow of their retrogrades, their respective retrogrades, will be July 26th for Mercury and July 28th for Venus. You might say that's a long time. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So they are going to be, as I mentioned, retrograde, both of them, from June 18th to the 25th. And I say this and repeat it because there's going to be a lot of disinformation and misinformation out there. What you're going to need to do is listen within to the voice of spirit, of God, of truth, of love, and follow that voice. Otherwise, the voices of rage can come in. And again, it is time for all of us to step forward. We are one. Those of you who have attended my full moon ceremonies know that I always say, we are one in this group. One. We are one here on planet Earth. What upsets one of us upsets all of us. The ripples go out there. The people that I love to be with, regardless of their political persuasion, their sexual persuasion, it doesn't matter. To me, what matters is that the people I interact with come from love. And I have seen loving gestures from strangers toward one another. I know you have too. And that's what I want to focus on. So here's what to be aware of. Finished talking about the Mercury retrograde. Yeah, I said wretched. and the Venus going direct on the 25th, and all that kind of stuff. Now, in June, we have 2 eclipses during this retrograde season. There's a third eclipse in July. I'll get to that next month, okay? The first eclipse is the full moon on June 5th. And by the way, my full moon ceremony, my online full moon ceremony, yes, I will be doing a video again. I'll probably put it out the day before, because depending on where you are on this planet, the full moon is not going to be on the 5th, which it will be for those of us living in Eastern Daylight Time. So you'll have to convert the full moon from Eastern to your time. Okay. The full moon, which is when things come to a head, is in 15 degrees of Sagittarius, 15 Sag, 34. Find 15 Sagittarius, 34 in your birth chart. This is where things will come to a head. And by the way, if you do not have a copy of your birth chart, if you go to my website, MaxineTaylor.com, you will find an offer from me for a birth chart for $5. Send me your birth data, send me $5 through PayPal, and I will send you a copy. It's not an interpretation. Please don't ask me questions on your birth chart. It's not an interpretation. It's the actual chart itself. And there are grids on it that will explain to you what you're looking at. Okay. So full moon on 15 Sagittarius 34, wherever that falls in your birth chart, that is where things come to a head. This can be a very positive time for you. After the full moon, the energy starts to wane as the moon wanes until just a couple of days before the 21st, which is when we have the new moon, which is a solar eclipse. June 21st, that's the time of beginnings. And this is what we want to be aware of, because just those few days before the new moon, the energy is low. You can find your own energy feeling low. It's not the time to start any new projects this month. This month is not the time to start any new projects. Why? Because Venus is retrograde, Mercury is retrograde, and with 2 eclipses, there's explosive energy. Yeah. Okay. I'll touch on that, of course, in my Trumpology report. Okay, so the new moon on June 21st is in 0 Cancer 21. Find 0 Cancer 21. That's 0 degrees, 21 minutes of Cancer. Find that in your birth chart, and that is where the energy starts building. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. Talked about the full moon ceremony. So it's going to be a confused month, more confused than it has been. Okay. So be aware of that. Also, I'm going to be doing, as you know, as I do every month, a video for each sign. As soon as I get this one up on my YouTube channel, I'll start with Aries. Oh, there's something else I wanted to mention to you before I forget. I have started a whole new series of astrology TV shows on the AIB. That's Atlanta Interfaith Broadcasting, the AIB TV network. If you go to the AIB TV network, look for Practical Astrology. That's the name of my 8-part series, starting with Venus, the planet of love, moving into Mars, the planet of anger and war, and then getting into our programming, the messages we bought as children that own us and run us. And I talk about the sun, the moon, Saturn, and Pluto. So, we are one. And we were born to be here at this time so that we could contribute to the rebirth of our country, because that is what is taking place. Again, check my YouTube channel. I'm going to have a couple of separate videos that you might find very, very interesting. One in particular. I won't say it, I'll have several. I got one that's going to be really good. So, till we meet again. And be sure and look at your sun sign forecast. This is Maxine Taylor saying, may the stars shine brightly on you and yours. Peace out.